Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a weekly live stream podcast hosted by us. Join us for better or worse.
Richer or poor.
In sickness and health.
As long as we both shall live.
Woohoo! Yay! We finally got it. I'm so excited.
It's taken us 12 episodes.
So we are a little off schedule today.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to stream yesterday, but we didn't. And we can explain why later. And then we were sitting here ready to go, but we still had 8 more minutes. But we're like, let's just go anyway. So
yeah, why not?
Here
it's Friday.
We are. Yay! So Tom.
Yes.
What are we talking about at the Couples Table today?
Well, we're talking about a few things, but before that, I have something I wanted to share with you, which I think is very cool. Christopher Kent is saying, I'm single, but can I still join? Yes, we're the couple. So you can be just the Christopher. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to share something, though, with you, Heather, that I found yesterday. Well, I didn't found it. It was sent to me yesterday, actually. And it is, we host the audio version of our podcast on Buzzsprout.
Yes.
And Buzzsprout hosts a ton of podcasts. Podcast data is really weird. It's different than figuring out like how well your podcast is doing compared to like a YouTube video, which has all of Google's like back-end data stuff.
Yeah.
But Buzzsprout is really good. One of the benefits of using not sponsored, using a paid service like Buzzsprout, which we're lucky enough to not have to pay for, is that they have lots of analytics stuff. So check this out. Because between my podcast, this podcast, other podcasts I do, and everyone I talk to that does podcasts, people are really like, they feel really bad about their podcast numbers. I think probably because people are used to YouTube numbers.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, and obviously if you're just starting out on YouTube, you're not going to get a ton of views, but if you jump into but if you start to build an audience, you'll start to see views, hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe those people who's lucky and goes way beyond that. But check this out. We keep getting little notifications from Buzzsprout that's like, congratulations, your podcast has like
however many downloads.
I forget what it was.
Yeah.
Whatever downloads. 98 downloads of your podcast.
Yeah.
Puts you in the top 50%.
So
we're in the top 50%. Actually.
So if your podcast gets 98 downloads, you are in the top 50%.
Yeah.
Of all podcasts.
At least through Buzzsprout's analytics.
Oh.
And 302 downloads puts you in the top 25%.
We're not there yet.
We're close, though.
Yeah, we're close.
We're real close to the top.
We just have to keep going.
But I wanted to share that because I thought it was cool. I know that's like, we don't do this because of numbers or anything, but I just thought that was kind of neat because I know so many people are so worried about podcast numbers and this, that, and it really, to me, that goes to show the value in just doing it rather than like it has to be perfect. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is super cool.
So thanks to everyone who tunes in every week, and thanks to everyone who listens and downloads every week.
I know, because it's a surprising amount of people that actually listen to the audio version, which
I know we've had people
cool.
say I listen to the audio only version, so I miss, blah blah blah.
Yeah, if you are one of those people, shout out to you.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's where we're going. Aubrey's here. Aubrey says hello.
Aubrey,
woohoo, hey.
Hi.
Friday. So what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? I think we're talking about working.
Yes. Well, what we're diving into is for the past month, well, for the last 6 months really, but for the past month, like legit, more seriously than ever, I've been working from home.
Tom's been working from home. I've been working from home since May of 2016.
I mean, technically I've been working from home since March, but our school system in March, like school was sort of optional. So I was still working, but it was like kids didn't have to go if they didn't want to go. And then everyone was like, why aren't the kids going to school? And I was like, well, you told them they didn't have to go to school. So they're not going to go to school. And
we did an episode where we talked about
that. But the new school year has started. It's been a month. And that means just like every day I'm just sort of here. This is where I teach all my classes from and do all that. It's right on the other side of the wall, like right behind the camera. If you're watching this, is where Heather's office is. And so we have just been living together 24/7 in quarantine because we can't go anywhere. And now we're also working together. So we thought that might be an interesting thing to dive into, talk about, break down.
I think that's, if you guys have any questions, and we'd love to know what your work from home life is like if you also work from home. But I think it would be cool if you give everyone an update, because I think it was a huge topic of discussion of like what the schools were going to be doing. I I think the consensus, or my understanding, is that most schools are still like doing distance learning. I think some schools have tried some kind of hybrid situation. What is your situation, and how do you feel about it?
Well, yeah, it varies greatly all over the country. In California and in our area, we're doing everything online. And I think that it sucks to not be able to just do things normally and to be in person with students. And I have a lot of students that I'm like attached to, and we were together for years, and now we can't do the things that we've been like planning to do in terms of projects and events and all that kind of stuff. And that sucks. But I think this is the absolute right decision to do online classes. They're challenging in sort of different ways. The plan is once our numbers get to a certain point, then we can move to a hybrid model, and then eventually move to a full in-person model. I have no idea. There's like the timeline of that is we have no idea what we're doing. If it's 1 week, if it's January, if it's next school year, like no one really knows. I'm not looking forward to the hybrid model at all. I think that's the worst of both worlds. But I understand why I understand why people who aren't in classrooms think it's a good idea, because they can put it that way. But that's getting maybe a little too politically opinionated here.
For the couples table.
Aaron
or Ron is here, and he said you started before he got here.
We just want to keep you on your toes and give you a break from your insane computer editing project that you've been working on for like a year.
But thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. So we're talking about working from home today.
Yeah. So anyway, because of that, I've been doing everything online, working from home. I do go usually to my classroom 1 or 2 days a week to because there's just some stuff I need to do.
You still do distance learning, but you're in the classroom.
Yeah, I'm in my empty classroom teaching, but there's some stuff I just need to do. Plus, it is a chance to just kind of like keep getting my classroom in order, so that whenever the time comes with other people in it, it's ready.
So my impression of how this is going is that it's just a nightmare. And that so Tom knows I have very bad memory and very bad recall ability. So my impression is coming mostly from scrolling through social media.
Oh yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who are moms now, or have they're around young children, and especially those who are around young children or have young children, the distance learning is just a nightmare.
I mean, is it
a nightmare? How are your kids responding? I mean, you're at the high school level, so it's a little different.
The thing that this has taught me, and it hopefully taught everyone, is how many variables there are in everybody's circumstances. Because there are literally some kids who are doing better than ever with this. And there are other kids who are really struggling. And, if you're a family with 5 kids, that's very different than if you're a family with 1 high school senior.
Yeah.
Like they're 7, they can take care of themselves. But you have 5 elementary school kids. You have a kid that's in elementary school, middle school, high school. You have different schools. And now you're trying to it's just everybody has their different things. I didn't realize how many opinions about this I have until we started talking about it. For me, though, it's been going pretty well. Obviously, I'm a career tech teacher, so we thrive on equipment and resources, and now we have access to none of those. So that kind of sucks. But it does force the students to kind of use what they have. So it's like I'm helping them find resource. Hey, if you have a phone, this is how you can film and edit. If you have a Chromebook, this is how you film and edit. If you have a computer, this is how you film and edit. I'll work, to provide you with Adobe Creative Cloud licenses if you could use those things. I can do the buffet of stuff, but they have to figure out what works for them. And I'll have kids that'll ask me hey, can you teach us this really specific Adobe program that's going to help me edit? And I say no, because I can't. I have you and I have 229 other kids who aren't using that. So I can't spend today teaching you how to use it, but I can point you some resources. I can also then go, hey, you should learn how to answer these questions for yourself, because I don't care what you learn in my class, the ability to have a problem, find a solution, and figure it out. That is a skill that you're going to take. Well, and this forces kids to do that.
It's weird. It's weird because what is the thing that brought us together in the first place of us meeting is digital literacy. This is the reason why Tom even he clicked on my channel for Boosted Board. But the reason why he was who is this person is because I said digital literacy. I quit my job to try to promote digital literacy. That was my mission, still is my mission. And I think it's so ironic that I tried so hard to preach about the importance of digital literacy. And then now it's a thing that it's just being forced upon everyone, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was talking to my mom yesterday and she was like, yeah, you know, I have friends who have like young kids and like, you know, they don't want to sit in front of the computer or
Right.
they have to get home because I got to figure out the computer with the kid who's only 6 or something. And like, okay, yeah, that sucks to do that day in, day out, 5 days a week for
going
school.
with somewhere between 28 and 35 Zoom meetings a week for both students and teachers is.
But also, I'm
lot.
just like the digital savvy and literacy that's happening as a byproduct is also like.
It really, you can't be successful if you're not at least somewhat proactive in figuring that stuff. You just can't be. And obviously there are some students unfortunately who then aren't, but.
Right, because and we've talked about this. Now we're just going off. We can
go
back, but like I remember in school, or at least when I was still working at a school, a lot of the students, when they had a problem, they'd raise their hand and ask the teacher. Right, where instead of like literally you have Google,
right,
you can probably figure it out. Yeah, but now it's like, well, you can't ask the teacher all the time. The teacher, you don't have that access that you had that you had before. So it's like you do have to. Figure it out. But I feel bad. I'm sympathetic to everything, but it's hard because like I realize how much, like when I go on Twitter, luckily I'm following a lot of people in academia and education where you could see the initiative, the being proactive, the being resourceful, sharing resources and knowledge and all of that. And like there's very much a like, okay, this freaking sucks, but we're gonna try to figure it out.
It is what it is. So do it.
If I go on Facebook, it's
very much the opposite.
It's a lot of frustration and complaining.
Yeah.
From not just, teachers, obviously, because of course you'd rather not be in this situation. But also parents of students, which is vicious sometimes.
Yes, it's not fun.
Yeah, I know that's digressing from working from home, but
it's all relates to working from home, so we can jump into that discussion. But we're getting a lot of comments, and last week we weren't able to keep up with comments. We were playing games the whole time, so let's jump into our comments and just keep up to date.
Okay, so Ron says, I think you'll find there are kids for whom the learning at home is a big positive, no distractions and easier to focus. Other kids will literally fall into depression and feel really isolated.
Yeah, and then coming back from it is going to be weird because just learning how to be social again is, I think, going to be very tricky.
Patricia says, do you find that some kids don't have a computer, phone, or internet access?
This is, yes, but this is also where, like, I'm astonished at the public school system because in our district, which is not an unusual thing, at least in California, every kid has a Chromebook provided for them, which is not like, a Chromebook is a very basic.
But they also get access to the internet, right?
If they don't have internet, the school will also provide them with a Wi-Fi access point. And yeah, it's super restricted, school district internet, so you can go to like 3 websites. But they can still do everything they need to do. So the district provides everything to them. And so everything can be provided for. I can go into.
Well, okay, so let's go back to working from home.
Yeah. We
have Faith T who said, I had to move from my desk to the kitchen. It felt like I was taking a break. It'd be like that.
Well, that's something Heather's had to figure out. And I'm lucky. I feel like it was an easier transition to start working from home because I've seen you do it for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And seen some of the challenges that you face.
Definitely. Oh man. I think my ideal situation was co-working. Like when I had a co-working space, because if I wanted, I think it's so important to be around other people that are doing what you're doing. Even if you're a solopreneur or working from home, I think it is you just need that sense of community. You have to be around people where it doesn't feel like, you're in your own head and you're doing it alone. And I think just for your sanity and mental health, you need to be around people, which is why I really liked having a space at a co-working space, because like it was like you were 2 or 3 days out of the week, I would go there and maybe I wouldn't be as productive because there's a lot of people that, and I liked talking to people, but but I would get so many ideas, and I would build a network and make connections and,
Right.
business development and the whole thing, vlog content, everything. So I think that was the ideal situation because we can't do that right now. Um, that sucks, but still, like, working from home, I don't know, it's really taken me a long time to figure out a way that is a system that is like optimizes for my strengths and makes me to be like the most productive, because of course it could totally be easy to just couch it.
Right.
Yeah. And like, I don't have a boss. I am boss. So
I guess that makes it a little easier for me. I have, times I have to be working, and
yeah,
there are, yesterday, for example, like an administrator dropped in on, like, they can come into your classes and watch just like normal, just like in middle school. So it is a little different. I can't just like, well, I'm just not going to do it today. Which I guess you could do if you're running your own business. You could just, who's going to stop you? But obviously you can't deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's different when you're like, when you're a business owner and, you have to be in charge. If you're wearing all the hats in a business, I think it's a dance that you kind of have to try what works for you to stay on top of the whole thing. Because it can easily be where, you've been the grunt worker for too long and someone hasn't zoomed out and taken the bird's eye view of like, where's the ship even steering kind of thing. So,
yeah. And that's, Mona Walker said, there's nothing that can replace in-person interaction. Being around others is important for kids and adults.
Totally.
I mean, there's the, we went just last weekend. we haven't, we have been so like attentive to the rules and we haven't gone like anywhere
just because,
in months. And last weekend we were like, let's just go to the bookstore.
I just had such a craving to, I mean, I'm weird. Okay. I love the library. I love books. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite movie because Belle is all about books. And like, I just love books. And the Barnes and Noble has been closed for months and it finally opened. And I was like, can we just go and peruse and like what it was like to just walk among the shelves and open books and flip the pages and just like, oh, I could read that one. I could read that one. I didn't end up buying a book, but it's like, I used to live right next to Barnes and Noble and I would just go there just because I was bored.
But it was just really nice to be in the world. Like,
oh yeah. Other people too.
Yeah. Well, a change of scenery, other people.
I completely missed the point.
Here, this kind of goes towards us. So Patricia is saying, I find that since I've been working from home for a few years, my biggest transition is that I'm never alone with my adult kids home. So that kind of deals with us because we're never alone either. I mean, you got your haircut this week, so you were gone for like 40 minutes or something. I guess I'm gone.
You guys like that? Look at that.
Short.
Zoom. See that angle?
Sharp.
I love it.
And I go to school 2 days a week, so you have that time. But otherwise, I mean, it's uninterrupted like time together. It's been that way just for months and months and months now.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I know, it's crazy.
I love this guy.
She gets so excited. Yesterday I came home from a day at campus and she was like, oh, you're here tomorrow? Yes. And it blows my mind because I assume like, well, you're working really hard. You don't want me here being like distracting. I mean, obviously I'm in here working too, so it's not like
we're not. Yeah.
It really warmed my heart, but also shocked me to know that you were like so excited to have me home.
I 100% prefer you to be home. I don't know.
It's great. It's really nice. It's nice, like when you just pop in, you're like, when is your lunch break? So, it's like a co-working space, sort of.
Yeah.
It's WeWork because we're working here.
I mean, I can never not work. The fact that the bathroom is 5 steps away, I can get water whenever I want. Like,
well, there's a bit. So my start time officially every day is 7:30. That's the time contractually I'm supposed to be starting work, and which is actually a little later than normal because they moved the school start dates back or start times back. So even going to campus, that's still a later time. But there's a big difference between like the days I go to campus, waking up, getting dressed, getting ready, eating breakfast, packing up a lunch, getting everything together, gathered up, getting in the car, going to work, versus like the days that I don't, and it's still starting work at the same time, but waking up, going on a bike ride, eating breakfast, not worrying about lunch, not having to pack anything up, and then just coming and getting to work. Like, I made sure that Mondays are a day I work from home, so that the start of the week is I can ease into the week that way, rather than like having to get up and go. And that's it's just, I've never been able to do stuff before work before.
I think Tom honestly had a transition. I think you had to like figure out working from home, because the first week, I mean, it was back to school, but also you were like, I hate these Zoom meetings.
Well, I mean,
they still suck.
I don't hate the meetings, like dealing with kids. It's just, I mean, I still do. I've just sort of like made my peace with it. Like, for example, we're not allowed to like close the door at any certain point, so to speak. So kids can join the Zoom meeting at any time. And that means it's not like, okay, the first 5 minutes or whatever. It means the whole time you're doing a meeting,
you have to look
I have two screens. So I have the whole Zoom meeting here where it has like the 30 kids. I usually have a screen here where I'm screen sharing something. Sometimes I have another computer over here where I'm like playing a presentation. You're keeping an eye on the chat. There's also kids doing the voice stuff. And then you also have to keep an eye on the like little waiting room, so that anytime somebody randomly joins the waiting room, you accept them in a minute. And you just have to do that the whole time, which fortunately it's not like a rule, but we're suggested that we don't have Zoom meetings more than 40 minutes of our 70-minute class periods. So just because it is too much time. And mine are usually about 30 minutes, maybe 40 on a long day, maybe 20 on a short day.
Yeah.
But that's just so much stuff to keep track of. And
I don't know how everyone else is doing it, because you have the setup to be able to.
I think most teachers have gotten to the point of embracing the dual monitor lifestyle. I mean, not all. I know some are trying to do it from a Chromebook, and
oh my God, what a nightmare.
Yeah, you just can't. But it's forcing a lot of people to just sort of figure it out on their own.
What are some like, because you've never worked from home before. So what are some things about it that you like and don't like? We'll start with what you don't like.
What I don't like. So it's the differentiation, because I do my work in here, which is also like the room where I have my drums and my guitar, and it's the room where I film my YouTube videos. It's the room where we do this live stream. So just having to like constantly switch it up for everything is like kind of annoying, because I'm constantly like replugging, reconnecting, unconnecting, like just resetting everything up all the time.
I definitely think,
I like that to an extent, but when I'm doing it multiple times a day, every day, it's like a little much.
I definitely think that if you are new to working from home, or you're going to be doing this for longer than you thought, you should definitely have a separate space dedicated just to work. I definitely think that's essential.
I think that's important. So that's been tough, except fortunately, which is good advice, like you need to have a clear limit of work time is over.
That's hard for me.
Right.
What time did I stop working yesterday?
I had to try to pull you away at 8 o'clock, and then I just gave up and went and played guitar.
I was in my office till 8:50 p.m.
Yeah. And you started at like before the
7 a.m. Yeah.
Fortunately, though, one of our administrators before the school year started said it's very important that you have a cutoff time. And it made me feel really good, because it's a thing people tell you, but when one of your like supervisors tells you, it's very nice, because it's like, okay, it's a thing that's okay to do in our specific organization. We're contracted from 7:30 to 2:45. That's my hours that I'm supposed to work. And then obviously, like, you put in a little extra time to grade and plan, all that kind of stuff. But I could work 24/7, 365 and never finish. And so I've had to have the time where it's like, I am done. I'm not checking emails anymore. I've had to tell my students that, like, if we're in a Zoom meeting, I'm available for them. If we end the Zoom meeting, but class still goes, I'm available by email. I also have sort of like a live chat thing going on Google Docs where they can just answer a question real quick. So I'm always monitoring that, so they can get near immediate responses during class time. But once class time's over, there's no guarantee. They can send me an email. If I see it, I'll get back to them. But I had to tell them yesterday, like, this proactive thing. If you have a question about like how to install this editing app on your phone, don't email me on Saturday afternoon, because I'm not going to get back to you. Like, I'm not going to. And you could just go to Google and say how to, or YouTube, how to install blah, blah, blah. And the crazy thing, so check this out. Yesterday, I was giving an assignment to my students. We're starting to do like a personal narrative thing. And the prompt is to find something positive, to essentially tell a story about something positive that's happened to them during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
which is not testing positive for COVID. Because there was something else I saw today that was like spread positivity. And I was like, that phrasing is bad when we're in a pandemic. Don't spread positivity. But anyway, it was this whole thing. And they were kind of asking like, well, what does that mean? Like, this sucks. I hate being at home. A lot of them are like sharing bedrooms. And it's like, what a nightmare. And I was like, that's kind of the point, is to look at this really difficult situation and see what you can pull from it that's positive. And I used an example, which was how many hours I was working at school prior to this, right? I'd leave for work at 6 a.m.
Oh my God. It was like, I don't know how you did it.
Well, I don't either. I just thought that's what you do. And I would stay late a lot of the time. If I ever like left when I was supposed to leave, it was like a victory. Like I'm being a rebel by leaving at my normal time. And then going on trips on weekends, doing all that kind of stuff. And I was telling the kids that's what I did before, but being home a lot has made me realize how important it is to be home and to like spend time with like the people that you love. And obviously I'm fortunate enough to be with Heather the whole time. And we have our dogs that, we get to spend more time together, and that's important to me. And, other family and everything happens, and it's reprioritize that for me in a way that when school does go back to normal, I refuse to go back to those hours. And that was a very important lesson for me to learn. And I was telling the kids this on the Zoom meeting, and a couple of them who were in my class last year who would go to all the after school stuff that I did, they loved it. They were like, yeah, it was crazy. I don't know how you did that. And I was like, you guys thought it was crazy.
Like, I would go with him to class sometimes as a guest speaker, and just the exhaustion from, I'm not even teaching. I was just there to, talk. And it's like, there's so much. I mean, working at a school is like crazy because I did that too. But when you're teaching, you're the only person in your department. You have 2 classrooms. You do a, full school broadcast every morning. You're a one-man show. It's just, I don't even know how you did it.
It's a lot. And so I don't remember what.
Okay. So what do you like about working from home?
Well, what I like is being able to have that cutoff. And so figuring out like, okay, that's it. Like, done. And then I like, like I said, being able, the days that I work from home, I've been really good about going on a bike ride before going to work starts, which is like, I've never been able to do anything besides just wake up, quickly get ready, eat breakfast, go to work. And now it's like, I'm outside, like the sun is coming up. I start work and I feel good because I like exercise a little bit. And I love that. I love not having to worry about like, because there's so many days where I'm tired in the morning and I pack like the crappiest lunch in the world. And then lunchtime comes at work and I'm exhausted and I just have the crappiest lunch in the world to eat. And now I don't have to worry about that because it's like, oh, when lunchtime comes, I go to the kitchen, I can have all our food is there. And that's wonderful. The bathroom, luckily at school we have like individual bathrooms, but it's still far. So our private home bathroom is just right there.
The whole, and then you share the 2 stalls among the whole building.
So I like just those kind of amenities are really nice. I also really love in my job, the part that sucks is of losing. The thing that sucks to lose is sort of the spontaneity of interaction.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have one class specifically that we always go off topic a little bit in our Zoom meetings, which is kind of fun. Like just have random discussions and they're always doing chat stuff. And it's actually like really enjoyable. And I think that's actually important. But when you're in the classroom, that happens all the time. When you're explaining something, it's like, oh, this story, this joke, that thing. And then usually like when I'm done doing a lesson, then it's time for students to go do their part of it. And that's time when I can like look over their shoulder and make sure they're doing what they're doing. That's also time when we can have just sort of random conversations like that, which is really important. And I miss that. But that's also the time where it's like, especially with the younger grades, where it's like, put your phone away, no eating in class, like restroom passes. You know how many restroom passes I've written this year? Freaking 0. You know how many hours of my life are spent dealing with other people's restroom issues? Too many. And it's not an issue now. You're at your house. If you need to go to the bathroom, go. If you want to eat a food, I don't care. You're not going to spill it on my floor. Like, I love that. And I love that when I'm done with my lesson and we've had our discussion and questions are answered, if there's 30 minutes left in class, it's like, this is what you need to do. I'm here to help, virtually if you need it. Otherwise, bye. I don't have to then
Bye.
babysit. Like it has taken that part,
babysitting.
which is very much a high school thing. It's different, obviously, elementary school, but that part of my job is not something that I have to deal with right now. And I really enjoy that because I actually spend my time with my students focused on like content more. And I actually enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
So that's been a good thing.
Ron says, for me, it was very important to delineate what was a work area of the house and what wasn't. That being said, it's midnight. I'm on my couch and migrating a business email server. I'm an idiot.
I mean, I have seen Heather do this many times where it's like, you're your own boss.
Yes.
So I'm going to work these hours. I'm going to have this system. I'm only going to do this here. And then I see like the rule get broken for one reason or another because life is life. And that's okay. But I've just seen that happen so many times. Like, this is how it is.
I'm in the middle of a transition of my new operate. I'm like, I love it. So yeah, this is going to be a video. So I'm not going to do a live stream. I'm not going to talk about a live stream.
Okay.
I'm very excited about it. Okay. Ron says, if I'm awake at 7:30, someone is getting a severe talking to. I woke up at 4 a.m. today.
I can't remember last time I slept until.
I know. I feel bad because when I wake up early, he has to wake up early.
Well, then the dogs wake up, and the dogs wake up if they wake up, they don't really get up or do anything. They just sit there and they start going.
They lip smack.
They start lip smacking and licking, and it's just like, I cannot sleep.
Faith T says, for me, I was work from home before COVID hit, so the transition was kind of seamless. But now that everyone is home, it does get a bit difficult to concentrate given the foot traffic, task knocks, interruptions. Yeah,
dog barks and that kind of stuff. One of the reasons I work from home on Thursdays is because that's when our like gardeners come to landscape the yard, and it's really loud because they have all the power equipment, but then also the dogs bark and go crazy.
They go nuts
and I just
for 2 hours.
I just can't work here when that's happening, so I need to.
I mean, I can't either. So
I mean, we've had to block it out in the calendar, like don't schedule meetings, don't schedule calls because it's too insane.
I've had to tell people not to disturb me during work hours, and it feels harsh to say that, but I need to have allotted time for it. Thankfully, I have good company through all this. Yeah, I think like I was too slow to understand this, but you're the one who sets boundaries for yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, then no one knows that they're there.
That goes if you're your own boss or not.
Like, yeah, for sure.
The same is true for me too.
Yeah.
Because the amount of emails I get, which are without explanation, just an invite to a Zoom meeting, Tuesday after school.
Oh my God, I get
Wednesday
so many calendar invites.
It's like every day of the week, it would just be yes. And I just say, no. Like, I just say no to all of them because no.
Hi, Demilly channel. Mike, what's hard for me is people not understanding I am at work when I'm at home. I'm sorry, I can't text right now.
Yes, that's a tough thing because like, well, you're at home. You're not really doing anything. It's not really hard. You're not really doing work.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm working at home.
Yeah.
Like it's not, that has, having been bouncing back and forth, I have really learned that it is more about what you're doing because let's put it, I don't know how to say this like correctly. There's the amount of opportunity for wasted time that happens in a workplace becomes very obvious when you work from home. Like if I need to go, okay, it's my prep period. I need to go check my mailbox in the front office. Well, that's across campus. And then that's checking my box and that's going all the way back.
15 minutes.
That's 15 minutes now that is just gone out of my time. And then here, no.
Oh yeah, because I remember when I would work from home, it's like you're just you were as efficient as you can be.
I would say I'm an efficient person. I'm more efficient at home for sure.
Because there's no distractions. No. Well, yeah. So like even when meetings, you have to go, you have to drive there, you have to, you want to get a little bit early. I'm literally still playing Animal Crossing at 10:58 for an 11 a.m. meeting. Like.
Well, it's just there's just more to do when it's that like what would be like the quote unquote babysitting time in class. Cool. I can be there monitoring the chat, but then I can also be planning the class for the next day.
Yeah.
Where normally I'd have to do that outside of the school day on my own time. But now I can plan the class during the class time while I'm waiting to help kids if I need to. And it's like, that's amazing. And then the end of the school day comes and I can just say, done. The feeling of going to Zoom and hitting
close
Zoom
program.
quit on a Friday afternoon and not having to do another Zoom meeting.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it's such a good feeling. That's not against Zoom. Zoom's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not conducive for a school.
It's just, I mean, it's
Situation.
28 to 35 Zoom meetings a week is just a lot of meetings on Zoom. It's a lot of, I think you're muted.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh, just, can you mute me? Oh, wait, I have a bad connection, so I'm going to log out, log back in.
I mean, I don't think it's bad, because I imagine if I had like 28 client calls, it wouldn't be bad. It'd be tiring, but for what you do, it's hard because you're used to in-person like reactions. And,
yeah, this isn't like each Zoom meeting isn't a sale or anything.
Yeah, you can't like read the room. You can't.
Oh no, and for most of it, we can't require students to have their cameras on.
Yeah, so
I've literally like I have a second camera over here that I can use sometimes for a different angle. So if I need to show something up close, I can like show it to them. And for one of my classes, I literally took the camera and pointed at my computer screen and showed them like just all the blank gray boxes. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking to. So I know I can't require you to put your camera on, but if you do put your camera on, it really helps me. Because it happened even the other day where I was doing something and they were like, yeah, we talked about this yesterday. And I'm like, honestly, all of my classes are gray boxes.
Yeah,
I'm sitting in the same spot. I don't know. I try really hard to keep my notes organized, but like, if you guys aren't participating, and it's the younger kids participate far less, the older kids are like,
of course,
crazy.
Yeah, because they like know you.
That's the same way as on campus too.
Yeah,
like the freshmen, any questions, and there's nothing, and
yeah,
the juniors and seniors, any questions, and it's like all this discussion that'll run to the bell, which is very normal, but it is maddening when you're just like I've stopped. I know this is I don't know. Well, this isn't work from home. This is more school related, but I need to vent. I've stopped doing the thing I would do during class time where if say I'm explaining how to do something, I'll kind of like take questions along the way, or I will really check and I'll pause and go like, okay, so if we're talking about plot, this is exposition. What does the exposition do for a story? And then I'll sit there and wait. So I'll be like, it introduces the character or whatever, hopefully. I've just kind of stopped doing that stuff. And
just waiting.
I just steamroll through it for the most part, unless every once in a while, like there's something I want to wait for, but I just steamroll through it because otherwise it's just a whole, like I literally, you can hear it. Let me push the right button here. I had to put this.
I'm going to get a copyright strike.
It's the Jeopardy theme song on my little soundboard here. So when I ask a question, I can be like waiting. And the reason I do that is because I post replays of the Zoom meeting, and that way, like, here, you want to watch a replay, the whole meeting is me giving the lesson, and then there's like Q&A and discussion at the end, but it's not you having to like watch me stare at gray squares for 10 minutes. I don't know. So it's just like I steamroll through, I get my info out, and then we discuss it if we need to. And kids can, interrupt along the way or drop a comment in the chat. It feels very much like live streaming.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I see in the chat, so-and-so asked about blah, blah, blah.
That's cute.
Like, comment, subscribe.
I know. See, isn't that crazy that all of this came full circle for your job?
The skills of live streaming, how it's applicable are wild. Like just understanding.
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine like a teacher who has never done this before.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. It'd be so scary.
I mean, everyone can pick something up, but
it's been really cool to see like the little sets and backdrops that teachers make for if they're working from home.
That's
awesome. A cool thing too, like working from home. It's neat to see people personalize it, because if you're just at the school, like the people who work from school typically just have like the exact same desk and cabinet because it's all built into the classroom. And then someone works from home and they made their desk and they put a little sign up that's like week 3, blah, 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 and they have their, like it's a little set, which I imagine as a student, then you go through your different teachers and it's like, it feels like you're going to a different
classroom. Yeah. That's cute.
And it's fun. I like it when people are embracing like setting up their home setup.
So do you have any, what is it called? Estimation of when work from home ends, Tom?
I don't. I mean, the minimum it could be for us is 2 weeks from the current date, because
but
we have to be, our county has to be at like a certain below a certain number of cases. And out of the state of California, we live in the fourth most populated county, but we're the second highest case numbers. In our county, our city is like the third highest case numbers. So it just doesn't seem, because honestly, if we go back soon, it would literally be because the thing, like, people got tired of fighting for it, and then we go back. But here's the thing, and I was thinking about this on my bike ride meditation, because what I have been seeing is a lot of places in the country, teachers are being like, schools are just opening like normal, and the number of teacher resignations is like through the roof. Like, people are just, because they're told you have to go back. There's not even small classes. There's maybe we're requiring masks, but maybe not. And they'll just quit.
Yeah.
Which I would do too. But the thing is, like, if we were to go back right now, like full, like if we just went back from this to normal school, no masks or social distancing or anything, somebody will die before the end of the year. Like, absolutely guaranteed. There'll be at least one person who dies at my school site for sure by the end of the year. That, to me, considering how many drills we do for active shooter and earthquake and this and that, because nobody wants to get injured or killed, that just seems like way too big of a risk. And I have a hard time figuring out when that risk won't be there. And that goes beyond like, well, it sucks to teach this way, and it's annoying to, do whatever, but that's like, when is it actually legit safe for all these people to go back realistically, like knowing how kids are in classrooms and what it's like? Because if we're staying 6 feet apart, I can't even go near my students to help them anyway. We can't share anything, so we can't use equipment. We can't talk because we have to wear masks, so we can't understand each other. We can't see each other since they can't use the school equipment because it's shared. They have to bring their Chromebook, and which they're using anyway. Why not just do it from home? Because you can wear comfortable clothes and not wear a mask, and I can see you talk and you're safe. Like, I don't know. So to answer your question, I have no idea. I'm just doing what I'm doing until I'm told to do something else.
Right.
That's the answer.
Let's see. Faith T says, prior experience really helps in streamlining things for myself. Work from home has helped me be able to collaborate on projects because of how I've been able to mold my flow. I love that.
I think working from home is cool because it does let you
could do it however you want.
It lets you discover your own style.
Yes.
You don't have to fit into the mold.
Yep. Ron says, yes, I've spent a good chunk of the last few months hand-holding clients as they figure out live streaming, Zooms, cameras, microphones with a wide variety of technical abilities. It's challenging.
Just become tech support for everybody.
Yeah,
that stuff is rough. I kind of become default tech support. I have like...
You're the tech guy.
But I know, but I'm not. I even have teachers from other school sites who I've never met, like, sending me pictures of like adapters in the back of their computer. Like, how do I do whatever? I'm like, dude, I don't know. That is a PC from 2004. I have no idea. Like, throw it in a ditch. So Heather.
Yes.
You have been working from home since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
What are your favorite parts of working from home and your least favorite parts of working from home?
I mean, kind of like what I was saying earlier, my favorite parts of working from home are also kind of going off of what Faith T was saying, is like being able to create a system and a schedule that optimizes for your own individual strengths and weaknesses. Because sometimes I honestly would be more productive in my cheap PJs laying down using my laptop versus like trying to get up and put on makeup and go to an office. Like, if I'm not feeling well, whatever. And the other thing this is going to sound weird, but I do not miss office politics.
That does not sound weird at all.
But I don't want to throw like people under the bus of organizations I've worked at. But I just feel
every
like
office has it.
Yeah,
though, so
like I feel like it's inevitable when there's multiple coworkers and there's a hierarchy. I don't miss that, man. And it sucks because like I never I never cared about it, but everyone else around me in the environments I worked at did. And like, it just, I remember I was always so busy. And I would look around and wonder why people had so much time to like stand at the water
To
cooler.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Like I don't, it was just, it's very
I've been
hard.
there.
You know, it's
Yes.
like when I'm working hard and like other people aren't and you're on a team, like that's hard, you know?
Can I tell you one of the saddest stories?
Sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt. But when I was in the 5th grade, we had a science fair project. And do you know who
This
had
is a group project?
No, this was it could be, or it could be individual. I did mine by myself. And you know who had his science fair project done early? Me.
Tom Buck.
I don't remember what the project was about though, actually. But whatever, I did the whole science project. I brought it in. I brought my little trifold board to school that morning. And I remember this one kid named Ronnie, who wasn't even my friggin' friend, was suddenly real friendly with me that morning. And I was like, remember we were talking about getting bullied on the another episode? He's kind of like part of that group that I felt like oddly needing to be a part of. He was like near them. And he suddenly came, he's like, oh man, like I didn't like get to finish my science project, which clearly he never started. Can I put my name on yours? And I was like, yeah.
No, Tom.
And so on the back of the trifold board, it said Tom Buck. And then I remember him writing his thing there. And I remember that feeling of like, I just said yes because I didn't want him to be mad at me. I didn't want him to think I was like dumb or whatever. But the feeling of seeing somebody else like, your name is on this and you don't even know what the project is. I was in 5th grade. Like I didn't have the skills to handle this situation yet. That's not how this would go down today. But that sucked. That's not a group project situation. But I mean, I went through a lot of college where I was fortunate enough to have friends who were great. But I was also, you know, the one where it's like, oh, it's the group project. Cool. I can't wait till I present it for everybody because I would like to pass this class. And y'all aren't going to do anything. And that sucks. And working from home, you don't necessarily have to deal with that. Or at least working for yourself.
Yeah. Speaking of not being equipped to handle situations, well, not really. But if I could go back to my old jobs with what I know now, I think with the experience of being my own boss and having worked from home and having to run a business and manage my own schedule and, you know, all the ups and downs I've gone through, I wouldn't have been as bothered by a lot of things because I just didn't know what was right. Like, it's kind of like, oh, you let that person write their name and you're the one who gave him permission to do that, but it feels wrong, you know? And you're just like, why do I feel this icky feeling? There was a lot of that happened at my last job where I was like, okay, they're saying that this is the way it's supposed to be, but I don't, there's something within me that's telling me that's not how I would do it, or I don't feel comfortable with this. And, you know,
I don't know.
I love the fact that I could be like, this is how it's always been done, but this way sucks. So we're going to do it a new way. And boom, done. Literally the next minute I could start working in a completely different way. And I love that.
That can also be a problem though.
Yes, but it's more.
I mean, it's way more of a blessing than a curse.
Way more. Like, are you kidding? I mean, you know, you have to, just to get anything going, the committees of approvals and long chains of emails just to get like people to stuff, email threads and blah-de-daws and blah 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 blah. And, it's next year by the time you get your new equipment.
It literally is sometimes, or 3 years later, and it's like, here's that thing you ordered. I'm like, what? Literally 1 year.
Like a new version of the thing has already come out.
Former school, we spent 1 year fundraising so we could buy one new computer for our yearbook program that I ran, one new like iMac. And the first day of school, I was like, I'm putting in that order for that iMac. We're going to have like fast computer. This is prior to having access to a lab or anything. It's like one computer is going to do photos really well. Put in that order. Cool. That computer came on May 22nd. I put the order in on September 3rd. The yearbook came out a week before the computer even got here. Like it missed the entire purpose that we ordered it for.
I would be so pissed.
And
I would have just bought the
You know how it got
computer.
delivered to? One day I walked in and it was just plugged into the wall and sitting on the floor, like unboxed and everything. I was like, the computer lab I have now is very different. It came in like 40 iMac boxes that I had to like unbox each one and set them up, which was actually very fun. But that was like, what? I walked in, there's this random computer sitting on the floor. I was like, what the hell is this? Oh, that's that computer I ordered 9 months ago. Cool. It is out of date. As a DVD burner.
Whiskey earned. I've worked from home for the last 8 years. It was commonplace in some fields even before the pandemic. Yes.
I'm hopeful that this makes it more of a norm.
Yeah.
For
I think it will be.
I really hope that it does.
Yeah. And Kim Marsan and Robert May are here and they say hi.
Well, they may say hello.
Hello. I don't know if I answered your question fully.
I just asked what you liked and disliked about working from home.
I think I answered it.
Being your own boss. It all makes a lot of sense to me. It's just, I don't know. There's pros and cons to everything, obviously. And we have solved the working from home issue. So anyway, when it comes to the two of us working from home, I'm in here working all day teaching. You're over there like running your business all day. That is actually working out really well.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's great. The dogs are here, which is wonderful.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, there was like, dog therapy. They'd bring the dog into the office for dog therapy.
Yeah, let me tell you what I don't have at work normally is
a dog
to walk in the room.
Best. It is the best.
And let me tell you, if a Zoom class isn't going well, you just put a dog on screen and everybody's happy. So that's a great trick that I did not have before. Guess you can just mute students as well, which I've never really had to do, but you can't do that in real life either.
Yeah, it's the best. So anyway, Faith T says, actually, a lot of animation studios now are opening opportunities for people out of the country because of how they figured the work from home process. Really cool.
Yeah, I've heard, because I've noticed that new shows are coming out and I'm like, these had to be done from home to some degree because there's no other way they could have been produced now. And I think that's awesome. I'm worried. Part of me does worry. Okay, let's see. If you're a business and you realize your employees can work from home, in a way, that's a good thing because it's saving you. You're saving money. Yeah. But at the same time, if then that becomes the norm where it's like
no one has to go.
It's impossible not to work from home. I feel like that could then be also a potential problem. So it depends on how businesses handle it. What I like about it, at least in the context of the pandemic, is it has forced everybody to examine their individual situation and acknowledge the individual situations of other people, meaning it's not the same. Like your work from home experience is different from someone else. My teach from home is different from someone else. And that it works great for some people and it works terribly for other people. And I'm hopeful that we can kind of keep that thing, whatever that is, going more, where you have the freedom to approach things from the way that's most effective for you. Because there are people who are going to take advantage of everything, but ultimately, a lot of people, I don't know if it's most or whatever, but they just want to do the best job they can. And if that means, I have friends who go to school campus every single day because they're like, I cannot focus at home and I want to do my job the best I can. And that's here where I'm in my room. It's quiet. There's no distractions. I just do my job. Cool. I have other people that are like, I am so much more comfortable and happy at home and I do a way better job at home. Cool. Both are great.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong.
I hope that going forward, teaching obviously is different, but in just other areas, I just hope that flexibility remains in all industries. I don't want a surgeon to be doing surgery out of their basement or whatever, but
Yeah. Well,
there we go.
Here we are.
We did it.
Yes, we did. Also ban TikTok.
That you're just saying that, or you're reading a comment?
I'm reading a comment. Oh yeah, for our audio listeners.
Yes, the audio listeners will be very confused by that. All right. Any last thoughts, wrap-ups before we go have our rockin' Friday night?
Or what?
I would say rockin' Friday, but I said frockin'.
One of the benefits from working from home next to Tom is I get to hear him tell the same joke 4 times a day.
Can you hear those?
Oh yeah.
Because
Something about like, what do you call a kitten's litter?
You're talking about today's joke.
A cat's litter who eats a ball of yarn.
No, it's did you hear about the cat who ate a ball of yarn? She gave birth to a litter of mittens.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't have the sound effect ready, but doo-doo-ps. That was my joke for today, which is
4 times. And every time he had to explain.
That's the best part though, the explanation. Because I've gotten to the point where what I tried to do today was, as I was over explaining it, I was reaching over and ending the meeting in the middle of my explanation. But I have one class where as soon as I give, the joke is at the end. So as soon as I give my bad punchline, I literally see them like they log off. Their reaction is to just leave.
That's cute.
I know, it's great. I love that stuff.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, if you guys have any suggestions for future topics, please let us know, because we are running low a little bit on like what we should talk about. I was just like, what's top of mind, Tom? Stop of mind.
We were talking about working from home. We were talking about
yeah. But if you have ideas for future topics, let us know. Oh, Ron says he needs more information about the wig.
The wig. Well, yes. So if you watched last week's episode, we lost our games. We got enough questions wrong where we had to pay the price in
I'm supposed to tell jokes,
episodes, where my punishment video that I had to make is which sounds really weird, is my number one video of my last 10 videos. It's doing great, which was I had to wear a hat and a wig like Heather in the video, but we didn't specify for how long, suckers. So at the end of the video, I have my hat and my wig, and it actually tied in very seamlessly. My favorite part is I put on the hat and the wig and pretend to be Heather. And then when I say subscribe down at the bottom, the subscribe logo for her channel pops up instead of mine, which makes me laugh a lot. So I did my penance. I don't know.
My penance.
But you haven't. You've been working. You haven't done a video since last week. So you have to do 3 puns. I have to do
3 jokes or whatever.
Let me tell you how.
I don't even know how to do that.
How magical like doubling down on puns has been for my YouTube
I'm just
channel.
gonna have you just help me, and I will say them.
My comments are all like, I came for the puns. I came for the puns. It's all this, that. And I'm like, you know what? That is fine. It's pun.
He also needs to know if Heather has a Tom wig. So the wig is just like, before I cut my hair, because I cut my hair this week, I was like really not happy about my hair. Like, it's just such a pain to deal with. And then like I've been working out a lot, so it gets all sweaty, and I don't want to wash it every day because the purple gets all over. It's just,
you get the sweat neck.
Yeah. So what I did was I cut it, which is nice because now it's like I don't get the sweaty necks. But before that, I ordered a wig because I was like, I'll just wear a wig for my video so I don't have to like deal with my hair. And so I got that like
the wig
cute
that I'm
dusty
wearing.
Purple color. Yeah, it was that wig that he was wearing. And I've always been a big fan of wigs, but I wore them for costumes. But this was like the first time in my life where I was like, oh, I think I'm just gonna wear a wig for like and pretend it's like my normal hair, or not even pretend. I'm not trying to pretend it's a wig, but like just rock it without saying anything. Like I'm not trying to be a character. It's just me. And so I had that. I haven't worn it in a video yet, but maybe in my next one. But Tom has a wig that it's not a Tom wig, but it's for his Halloween costume from 2 years ago, or was it a year ago?
It was last year. Different world we were living in, let me tell you.
It's kind of like his hair, but just like thicker.
And longer, and nothing like my hair, because that's why I had to get the wig. I mean, it kind of is. It looks like if I grew my hair out and like gelled it a lot, I guess.
A Heather pun second channel. I don't know how to do puns. Like, I don't understand how Tom's brain works where that's a thing.
It's such a problem.
I don't understand. Like he did puns like it was.
There
like,
have been times I've had you screaming at me to stop.
We have 10 Animal Crossing villagers, and he punned all of their names like back to back right away. And I can't even name off our Animal Crossing villagers, let alone make puns out of their names.
Yeah, like one of them was, her name is Celia, and I was like, well, I'll see you later. And then, you were leaving or something, and I was like, oh, Bianca, like you should be on call or something. Like it was just like, but it was like she was kind of laughing at the first 2 or 3, and then by like the 5th or 6th or 7th one, she was like, stop. And then I kept going, and she was just like,
no.
I couldn't tell if it was
like, I don't understand
angry,
like how you do it. It's so weird.
I don't know. It's like sometimes I don't want to, because when I think of them, I have to say them, and that's a problem. It's
like the pun guys. Do you remember the pun guys?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
You should do it like that. So if I said like, laptop.
Well, the milk spilled and the dog lapped it up.
Wow. So this is a real thing.
Terrible.
Weather. Oh, that's easy.
I can do one whether or not you want me to. But you know what? Someone was asking who I was going to go to the dance with, and I said I'm going with her. Whether. Anyway.
Human.
Human. Human, this one or that one?
Wow. This is a thing.
It's bad.
Window.
Windows ones or Windows ones? I don't know. It's going to a place. Our viewership is going into the negative.
No, it's not. Okay, yeah. We're done here.
We're done here. Well, not quite the grand finale of our last week's episode, but...
Well, if you have any suggestions for future topics for the Couples Table, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Soon to be one of the top 25%.
I know, could you believe?
I swear they have more than like 4 podcasts, but...
It's
practically Sunder Woman. Sunder Down Under. I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
Sunderdome. All right. Take care. Oh, wait. We can't just end the stream randomly, of course. We have to say it's time to clear the table.
Whoop.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Yes. Stay safe. Have fun.